What's going on, guys? My name is Joe. This is the Duel Factory, and in today's video, I'm actually going to be giving you a Thunder Dragon deck profile that I played in my locals a couple weeks ago that actually has a new Ready Fusion in it. And it's actually a really, really interesting deck profile. That's why I wanted to showcase it, even though my performance wasn't that great. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. But I really wanted to showcase this because the card Ready Fusion actually gives this deck a whole new dynamic, and I think it's one of the best cards that could have came out for the Thunder deck specifically. The only other thing that would make this deck better is if we got Colossus off the ban list, fingers crossed. But before I get into that, I actually had a lot of other deck profiles profiled for you. I had the Salomon Great deck that I've been playing, and then I also had the ABC list that I played at 217 Cards, Games, and Comics. Go check them out. They're actually really cool. But I didn't find them interesting enough, so I decided not to post those lists. But if you still want to see them, by all means, let me know in the comment section below. I'll post them. That being said, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. So to start off, I will say this is not like a conventional Thunder list that you would see lately in today's format. So I'll kind of go over that. But for the normal summons, we play 5 normal summonable monsters, right? So I see a lot of people playing Aloof Lupine, but I've opted that in this particular list, I thought Batteryman Solar was the best normal summon. It's just essentially Foolish Burial for Thunder monsters. The biggest thing being that this monster on its own always gives you access to your Thunder Dragon Roar, which is arguably your best Thunder Dragon monster that you have access to. It also generates a token whenever a Thunder monster is special summoned to your side of the field. It does a lot for the deck, and I think it does more, and it's a higher impact card than Aloof Lupine was. And then I wanted another card that you can normal summon that was also very, very high impact in the deck, but two things that I wanted it. One, I wanted it to be level 4, and 2, I also wanted it to be a tuner that also gave you access to Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, because I think that card's absolutely insane in this deck, and it gives you a whole new ceiling of cards to play whenever you do that and whatnot. So for the next normal summon in the deck, we are playing 2 copies of Raid in Hand and the Lightsworn. It facilitates what I was looking for. It is a tuner monster, and it's level 4, so it works very, very well with Chaos Space because you can make your Chaos Ruler. Another thing that it also adds to your deck, and why I think it's probably one of the better normal summons that you can have outside of Aloof Lupine, is being able to send cards from the top of your deck in the graveyard. You can hit other Thunder monsters, making your Chaos monsters and making cards like your Thunder Dragon Hawk and whatnot a lot more impactful in the game. So that's why I opted to play this card. And then I'm not going to lie to you, this was probably the best card for me the entire time I was playing this deck. That being said, I might change the normal summon ratio around to 2 Solar and Raiden Hand of Lightsworn, because after playing it, I do think Raiden is a much more higher impact card than Batteryman Solar is, but Batteryman Solar is still really good with cards like Hawk and Ready Fusion, so that's why we're playing that. And then enough about that, on to the actual Thunder monsters themselves. I am playing 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Roar. It is your best Thunder monster that we have access to. Not much to say on that one. It's level 6, so it works really, really well with cards like, what was the name of the fusion monster that came out? The new Alvain tuner monster. It's really good with that one. And the idea was, I wanted this Ready Fusion to be as impactful as possible, so that's why. We also are playing 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Dark. It's the second best one. It searches all your Thunder Dragon or Thunder Dragon cards. I'm sorry, this also can search fusion. Not much to say about that, plus it's interruptions for your Titan. I am opting to play 2 copies of Thunder Dragon Hawk. A lot of lists are only playing 1, and I can see why they're only playing 1. The reason we're playing 2 is because I made the deck focus solely around Batteryman Solar, mainly as the ideal normal summon outside of Raiden. So I wanted to have as many good possible openings with Ready Fusion as possible, and this facilitates a lot of that. On to the rest of the Thunder monsters, we play 2 copies of Matrix, one of the cards that you use for your Titan interruptions, and then 1 copy of Thunder Dragon Duo. Note, in this list, I do not play just regular Thunder Dragon. And it's really weird, because it brings a lot to the table, but I went with Kamal Crook's theories whenever this deck was very, very popular before we started playing, like, the danger cards in it, and then so on and so forth. But Kamal Crooks made the point a long time ago that vanilla Thunder Dragon, essentially, he doesn't think he does anything for the deck. And I can see why he thinks that, because essentially all Thunder Dragon does is, yes, it adds copies of itself, and it puts Thunder Dragon in the graveyard, making your fusion more potent. And it's also a light monster, keep that in mind, so it works really well with Chaos Space. Other than that, though, it doesn't actually provide anything, like, realistic or tangible to your actual plays, and I really took that to heart. Like, because I was thinking about it, like, yeah, this is cool that I can activate Thunder Dragon, but with Colossus gone, activating a Thunder Monster effect in hand isn't as, like, vital as it was. And I'm not going to lie to you, every game that I played it, there was not a single time that I missed OG Thunder Dragon. So I think he might have been on the right track with that. I don't know if we're going to continue to play that, but as for now, this current list does not play original Thunder Dragon. I'm not going to lie to you, I think it was probably the best, it was probably one of the better choices. And that's it for the Thunder cards. So we're going to go to actual Chaos monsters that can be searched off Chaos Space, because I think they're the most important part of the deck. We are playing one copy of White Dragon Wyvern Burster, the Black Dragon Collapser, because you know they go together. And then I wanted another level 4 Chaos monster, Light Attribute, that could be searched off Chaos Space, because it works the best with Thunder Dragon Roar, because Thunder Dragon Roar plus Chaos Space is probably one of the better openings the deck has to offer. So I played one copy of Chaos Valkyria. It facilitates both roles, being level 4 and a light, but it also facilitates the secondary role, where it doesn't necessarily need a dark monster in the graveyard to be special summoned, and that's actually really huge. So that's why Chaos Valkyria was the third search target for it. And then we are playing the one copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. This card is insane. Not much to say about it. You can rip cards, you can reborn monsters, blow up boards. It's level 8, so it works really well with Chaos Ruler and stuff like that. The card's insane. I'm not playing the Chaos Creator. I really thought about playing it, but I just think it might be too much at that point. Plus, I think 4 search targets is more than enough for Chaos Space. And then on to your spell cards. This is something I was debating a lot, because I was originally playing Allure of Darkness in this slot, but instead of playing that, I opted to play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity, solely for the reason I wanted to see my Instant Fusion and Ready Fusion more consistently in my opening hands, because I think that card's such a high impact card in this deck. Now, note, I do know it conflicts with cards like Chaos Space's Drawing Effect. It does conflict with the Mulligan effect of Thunder Dragon Hawk. What else does it I'm trying to think. There was something else I think it conflicted with. But those are the 2, like, main big ones. That being said, I think the consistency the card provided outweighed the negatives of what it provided. Now, that being said, I don't know if it was correct or not to play Allure over this, but I might test Allure over this card. But for now, this is what I decided to stick with, and it was good. Like I said, I consistently saw Ready Fusion more often in my opening hands, and that was the entire point. The next card, Chaos Space, there's not much more I can say about this. It was almost like this card was just designed to be playing Thunder Dragon. It's like, it provides so much to your deck. Being able to search the actual Chaos monsters themselves, putting your Thunder Dragon Roars and your Darks and Graveyard so they can trigger the effects without having hit the field. Like, the card is just insane. Nothing else to say. Because we're playing the Raidens, we are playing 3 copies of Charge of the Light Brigade. It's just a consistency card. I want to see Raiden and more in my opening hands, especially when I see a Chaos monster. Plus, the added benefit of Charge of the Light Brigade, again, it gets to send the 3 top cards of the deck to the graveyard. So I could very easily just hit Thunder monsters, and then my plays just go out of this world, to the moon, will probably be the best way to describe it. But yeah, Charge of the Light Brigade's crazy. Like, I love it. Plus, I have First Set Secrets, so I wanted to play him. You know, small flex. But anyway, for the final consistency card, I played 1 copy of Gold Sarcophagus. It's really good with your Thunder Dragon Roar. It's really good with your Thunder Dragon Dark. There's a reason it's at 1. Not much else I'll say about that. Again, the new addition to the deck, and I could speak volumes for this card, is your 3 copies of Ready Fusion. So Instant Fusion being at 1 actually surprisingly hurt this deck, and Brilliant Fusion being gone completely actually really hurt this deck. Because one of the nice ways to start the combos of your deck would be able to put a Thunder Fusion monster on the field that wasn't named Prismora or Combinari Attack. And the Combinari Attack especially, because you could banish Combinari Attack and the Thunder Dragon Roar Dark in your hand to get your plays going. And then this card coming out, now you can play cards like that, but you can also play different cards like Alvain, the Tuner's really good. And I'll show a tech card here in a second that I played to make my Hawk and, or not my Hawk, but like my Wyvern Burster Solar plays more consistent too. But yeah, I could speak volumes. Like, this card does a lot for it. And because the card's so good, we played a 4th copy of it in the Instant Fusion. Like, there's not much to say. Like, the card brought a whole new dimension to the deck, and I think the deck is a lot more playable now because of it. The final spell we play in the deck, and we play 3 of, is 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion. This card is what lets you play past turn 1. It's so crazy how many people only play 2 copies of the card, but, like, I just want to see it. Like, I don't want to have to search it, you know what I mean? Like, the card's insane. Like, if I draw it, things happen. I don't have to use my Thunder Dragon Dark Search to get it. I don't have to use my Predaplant Verde Anaconda play to do it. Like, it just frees up so much in your actual gameplay. And then the last 3 slots in the deck could be anything, honestly. So for this time when I played 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence for 2 reasons. One, it is unaffected by triple tactics talents, and what I mean by that is they can't talent you if you use this during your opponent's turn, so that's one of the big reasons. 2, it stops Floodgate monsters from completely turning off your deck, and what I mean by that is the locals I was playing at. You will popularly see cards like Inspector Border, Vanity's Fiend, surprisingly Majesty's Fiend, a bunch of stuff like Floodgate monsters that your deck does not deal with very well, and this was essentially a main deck out to stop it. Notably, you could remove these cards. You could play something like the Dragoon package, which I opted not to play this time, and I've been considering playing. It does conflict with Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, which basically this deck is more designed to see that card more often than not. So that would be a reason not to play it, but I have been considering it because it's just another form of negation your deck can put up very, very easily. But that was my main deck. It is 40 cards. I'm now going to show you the extra deck, which one is super cramped, but it has a lot of spicy options, and because of Ready Fusion, it does a lot more than traditional Thunder Dragon list. So to start off, 2 copies of Thunder Dragon Titan. You do need to play 2 copies of this card. Not much to say there. If you could get away with playing 1, I would, but I think 2 is absolutely mandatory. Plus, it's another form of interruption, and it also triggers your cards when you need them to trigger. On to my favorite part of the deck, which is the Ready Fusion targets, right? So we play 1 copy of, well, hold on, let me show you these first. Kaminari Attack, and Alvain, the Essence of Vanity. And then we do play a 3rd Ready Fusion target, and we play it in the form of Sea of Monster Theseus. The idea behind these is if you open Solar Hawk, you use the Alvain when you have Ready Fusion paired with it, so that way you can make a Synchro level 8 and makes it easier to summon Chaos Roll, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. The idea behind Kaminari Attack is when the only play you open is Ready Fusion, or Instant Fusion in this case, and Thunder Dragon Roar Dark, you have a way to play. That's the big one. That's also why I also considered playing Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, because at the bare minimum, you get to resolve those effects and you end on a Dragoon, so that might be a reason why that comes in. But the big thing, we're playing Sea Monster Theseus, and it seems very, very out of place, but the idea behind this is I wanted to make my opening of Wyvern Burster, Wyvern Burster or any Chaos Monster, really. So Thunder Dragon, not Thunder Dragon, but Battery Man Solar and Ready Fusion more potent. Because when you do that, you, what a lot of people don't realize when you're doing that is, one, when you do the Sea Monster Theseus, it makes summoning the Thunder Dragon Dark that much more lethal on your field, because you can use it and Sea Monster to special summon Zulkin out of your extra deck, and then the Thunder Dragon Dark will search the spell or trap card you need to set in form of Thunder Dragon Fusion, and puts a Crystal Wing on the board, which also gives you a nice way to play around cards such as Nibiru the Primal Being. And it just makes sure, like I said, the idea was these 3 cards and the extra deck made my Ready Fusion and Instant Fusion infinitely more impactful if I were just playing the 1 card. I don't know if it was correct to play all 3 of these, but I really liked having the option of all 3 of them in my extra deck, so that's why we played them this week. On to the Synchro Monsters. The aforementioned Ultimate Zulkin, the 1 copy of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon to summon off the Zulkin, and then my favorite card, the Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, Papegro, whatever you want to call it. Being able to summon and resolve this card makes your Thunder strategy infinitely more viable. And it preps your graveyard. You get to see 5 more cards in your deck, and you could potentially see like your Thunder Dragon Roars that you're missing, your Darks. It can add your Chaos Monsters. It can add a tune. Like, it can add so many different things, and it has such a high impact level on Thunder that I believe going forward, every Thunder list should play this card. And it is awkward to summon in this deck. That's why we're playing cards like Raiden to make summoning it less awkward. There have been times I thought about playing Emergency Teleport, so that way I can summon like Gamma, but the problem is that card's at 1. So I thought, but having access to this card is so crucial in that it's actually unreal. It's just like when you're playing it in the Dragon Link, the Dragon Link strategies, where resolving it usually game. Same concept here. You resolve this in Thunder Dragon, it's usually game. We do play 1 Exceed in the form of number 38 because we have recurring access to a level 8. We also have cards like Levianeer and Duo that are searchable. That's the idea behind that. And then we are going to go on to the link 2s of the deck. We are playing 1 copy of Phoenix, 1 copy of Anaconda, and 1 copy of IP Masquerena. This is the best link in your entire extra deck. Having access to your Thunder Dragon Fusion at all times is actually insane. And it's also, if we decide to play the Dragoon package going forward, it gives you access to Dragoon. Not much to say there. On to the only link 3 we play in the deck was playing the 1 copy of Unicorn, and then the 2 link 4s. We are playing Appaloosa, and we are playing the Access Code Talker. Being able to make Appaloosa on your opponent's turn is actually just kind of crazy, because it just makes them have to deal with more interruptions. IP at Masquerade to make it be unaffected by card effect is actually really good. The Access Code Talker, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I only summoned it once, and the one time I did summon it, it was not the correct situation. So this might get cut so I can actually play the Dragoon, but I do not know. But I am going to keep playing this deck going forward, because it's just a really, really fun deck, and the format's kind of stale, so that's where we're kind of at right now. But that was my Thunder Dragon deck profile post Dawn of Majesty with the introduction of Ready Fusion. I think this deck is actually insane. I think it's only going to get better, especially if we get some help from the ban list, but you never know. If you guys like this list, or if you have any critiques or anything like that, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.